balls. It's always great. We go from one extreme to the next, and this is the best part of any meeting for myself personally, is the cake awards. Catching a kid excelling, and everyone's here, and you've been busted, you've been caught for excelling, doing something great, be it scholastically, just being a good person, and we would like to recognize you.
It's right here.
And what better way to do it sometimes is through your taste buds. We have Miss Nesbitt at the high school, the Pro Star. What? No,
It's like, it's popcorn.
okay.
It looks like.
They made us some kind of popcorn treats. So if you have a grumbly dad that maybe needs a little sweetening up, grab him one extra. Looks like there's plenty. But without further ado, we'd like to start recognizing our cake award winners this evening. Mr. Leese, would you like to start us off?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. We're going to start off with Cape Bridge Elementary. And we're going to start off with Genova. Giovanni Roberts. Giovanni Roberts here. Giovanni is an amazing person and student. We can always count on Giovanni to be on task and follow directions. He is pleasant, kind, and respectful. He is a wonderful peer helper for his classmates and supports them with their classwork and with fun activities. We appreciate his good attitude and the smile he always has on his face. He is a hard worker and has a great work ethic. He gives 110% to all work that he completes. He is making steady growth in reading and math. It is a pleasure to work with him this school year. Congratulations, Giovanni, on being the third grade CAPE student for the month of January. Then we have Owen Charlton. Owen Charlton here? Come on down, Owen. Owen was chosen because you have a heart of gold. You are kind and considerate to teachers and other students. You always be utilized as a peer helper because you are an excellent role model for the way a third grade student should behave and work at school. You are cooperative and alert. You always have a smile on your face and are positive about schoolwork and the relationships you have with other students. You complete your work quickly and accurately. We are so proud of the way you mastered multiplication facts to 12. You are on the 4.0 honor roll for the first weeks. We enjoy hearing about your love for the sports of football, and we look forward to hearing about your achievements in this sport.
I have to say, Mr. Leese, that young man's got the biggest smile I ever seen. He's a little guy and he's got a big smile.
I was trying to watch him, but I was trying to read too. That's good. Next up, we have Riker Loy. Is Riker Loy here? Riker has improved throughout the year and is very kind to other students and staff. He is always willing to help and has a positive attitude when doing classwork. He follows the rules and works hard on assignments. He has a very good sense of humor. Riker. Next up, we have Ice Mountain. Lottie Broderick. Lottie is a fun third grade with a lot of personality. She is a great overall student. She strives to do her best and is always asking questions. That's good. I like kids to ask questions. Lottie did very well mastering her multiplication facts. When needed, she is always there to help her classmates. Lottie loves everything related to arts and crafts. Lottie Broderick. Next up, we have Landon Kepler. That name sounds familiar. Landon is a great second grade student who really loves school. Landon does everything he can to strive to do his absolute best at his work. That's good. He is doing very well understanding our newest chapter in math on money. Boy, that's even better yet. That's really good. And Landon is an active boy and loves a game of soccer.
South Branch Elementary, Lydia Shoemaker. Lydia is a second grade student. Oh, there is, she is here. Okay.
I'm working.
Surprise me. Okay, I'll start again. Lydia is a second grade student in Mrs. Walker's class. She has excellent attendance and a positive attitude in the classroom. She's a great role model for her classmates and shows maturity when working with them. Lydia excels in all academic areas and is enthusiastic about learning new material. She sets high standards for herself and reaches them. Finally, Lydia is a good friend to all and makes our classroom a bright place. Ashton Denmark. Oh, good. We've got another one. That's okay. Ashton has been caught excelling at iReady math lessons. He set a personal goal and has worked hard to accomplish it. When the lessons were challenging, he persevered until he mastered them. He has applied this winning attitude in other areas as well, helping him to be a great student. Congratulations.
Okay, from Capon Bridge Middle School, 6th grade, Kenley Fry. Kenley has been chosen for this award because of her unwavering kindness, consistent dedication to hard work, and her incredible willingness to learn. Kenley's positive attitude and commitment to growth are a shining example for her peers and our entire school community. She embodies the values we hold dear here at CBMS, and she makes our school a better place every day. Congratulations, Kenley. From 7th grade, Phoenix Fox. Phoenix is always prepared, always makes his best effort, always helpful, and always attentive. We are very proud to honor Phoenix, wait a minute, where's my place here, with this month's Cake Award for the 7th grade. From the 8th grade, Abriana Miller. Abriana has immensely put a ton of work and heart into improving her grades, as well as making a ton of growth in her iReady testing. She's made it a point to ask questions, check her work, and isn't afraid for help. She puts pride in her effort, plans ahead and assigns her for assignments, needs, and deadlines for her classes. She supports her classmates and gets so excited about the results of her hard work. Her teachers are so proud of how she has worked, and she will also help bring their efforts as Bobcats at Capon Bridge Middle School. Abriana has been a possum Bobcat.
All right, I have the privilege this evening of doing Romney Middle School. From the 6th grade, Mr. Wyatt Shoemaker. Wyatt is a sweet-tempered and conscientious about his studies. He is a super volunteer. As a member of the student council, Wyatt has pitched in to make Romney Middle School looking sharp. He also pitched in with the Romney Middle School Santa Shop to make it a success. He also helps keep the hallway looking great by generating ideas and creating a monthly bulletin boards. Wyatt is always willing to lend a hand with a smile on his face. Congratulations, Wyatt. Seventh grade, Peyton Daughtery. Peyton is respectful, kind, and well-mannered. He excels in the classroom and is a role model for others. He is self-motivated and always does his best. On his eye-ready diagnostic test taken earlier this month, he showed a tremendous growth in both ELA and math. And finally, from the 8th grade, Miss Daphne France. Daphne has a positive attitude, works hard, and perseveres. She remains on task throughout the class and is always willing to help others. She is an excellent role model to her peers, and she completes classwork thoroughly and always is kind and polite.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this here. I have Hampshire High School, and for the 9th grade, we have Landon Ratliff. Congratulations, Landon. Landon is super respectful at all times. He works hard in his classes and treats everyone with respect. He is quiet and has a great sense of humor. He does his work without complaint and participates in class. He is willing to go above and beyond to help teachers and other students. I couldn't ask for a nicer kid to have in class. Congratulations. I'm sorry, I met that young man when he was just a baby, and my gosh, he's grown so much. Right, oh my.
Embarrassed.
Oh, oh, sweet Lord Jesus, no, I'm not that old. No. Okay, I'll get back to it, okay. And for 10th grade, we have Ava Gray. Ava is a dedicated student, devoted athlete, and an all-around wonderful, polite young lady. Ava goes above and beyond in her studies and even finds time to help others when they are struggling. Ava is always quick to offer a helping hand to staff and students, whether it be in yearbook class, the school coffee shop, or anywhere else on campus. She volunteers her time to do to do anything that needs to be done in her extracurricular activities, and she does all of this with a great, big, genuine smile on her face. 11th grade, Haley Hirsch. She's a wonderful student. She always does her work in class and does it well. She has a quiet demeanor and flies under the radar, but is an excellent addition to HHS. She takes honors classes and has all A's. She is an integral part of jazz band too. We wish more students took academics as seriously as Haley. Congratulations. 12th grade, Bodie Stankwich. Okay, Bodie is an intelligent young man who often goes unnoticed. He always gets his work done in a timely, professional manner and maintains an A average in all classes. He is very polite and friendly and will do anything that is asked of him. He has impeccable manners when talking to adults, which is a rare trait in today's world. Congratulations.
Well, guys, as always, we definitely like to have all our cake award winners come on down. We've got to get a picture. We got to make you review Facebook famous. So, and mom and dad, I'm sure it's going to need some more photos. So everybody, come on down.
We'll get a picture after. Go right there, lady. Go down. Go next to the mountain.
You shorter guys get up on the front there so
Yeah,
that
the little
everybody
ones
can
up
see
in
you.
front. You're a little bit taller.
It's okay, I promise. Nobody down there will like.
This is good, this is good. Honestly, well, you're definitely in the back.
You can stand with me. Is that all right?
All right, Andy's got a wide lens, but we need to crowd together, guys.
Yeah, can we crunch in here maybe a little bit? Are we okay? Got us?
Can everybody say sugar rush?
We've got plenty of those.
All right, hang on, guys. We got lots more phones up.
Did you get it? Miranda, did you get one? We'll wait. Anybody else? Anyone else?
Everybody got it?
Everybody done? All right.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Congratulations. Share a little bit.
Little one, oh my God. Thank you.
One of two things you can look for on the website, should be up on the website tomorrow. And we know this is a school night, you're welcome to stay for a meeting or you're welcome to go.
Ms. Pontione, I want to share with you, I was just talking to our cake award from Ice Mountain, and I was asking her how the new school was, and she said it was great, except for she got lost. George, yeah. We thought about stopping in here. Does it happen? I don't know. It ain't working? Not real well. It's good to try that one. Yeah. That's, I was gonna say, that's one of them. Yeah, that was just, I don't know, it's just. But usually how it ain't working.
Exactly, it's not,
Don't leave
it's
it
not
there.
take much to make it better.
I got, of course, I got mine. Yeah. I can generally carry a file, but I didn't have it this night. I carry my book thing here, just to have one. Just to have one. Yeah.
Okay.
We got time,
Oh, I'm good, how are you? Y'all got one?
Yeah, we got.
Okay. Thank you. Sure thing.
There are no appearances.
That's always the best part of the meeting, isn't it? Yep.
I love these kids.
All right, I will recommend that the board approve the December 16th, 2024 Board of Education minutes.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, on the consent agenda, I would recommend the board approve the consent agenda items. On finance, you have bills to pay, budgets, revisions, transfers between funds, and the treasurer's report. On the personnel, we have one substitute teacher to be employed, a long-term sub for special education at Ice Mountain. Mrs. Meck as a part-time countywide instructional coach. Walter Little as a long-term sub for special ed at the high school. Retirements, Mrs. Alderman as special education teacher at Hampshire High School. Dana Veach as substitute. And the retirement of Mr. Pontione as superintendent effective June 30th, 2025.
The fearless leader.
Transfers, employee, Mrs. Long there, you can see she passed all 3 tests, so she's eligible to be a substitute aide, substitute cook, and substitute custodian. Mrs. Coakley as a substitute secretary. We got a couple aides, transfer custodians, and hire Randy Hyatt back as custodian at Windy Ridge Elementary.
Randy,
He used to be down at Cape.
He retired, didn't he?
Yes, he
And
resigned.
he's coming back.
Yes.
he was at Cape Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was at the high school.
Randy or
He
Merle?
was a
Merle
long time ago.
Merle was.
Both of them were there at one time.
We got a substitute cook, retirement of Terry Dawson from the general maintenance plumber,
Wow.
effective June 30th. homebound teacher, yearbook contact, and Mr. Flanagan from the assistant basketball coach to the head basketball coach at middle school. And then right below that, because they have to happen together, the resignation of Josh Pierce as the head boys basketball coach. Under 7, permission to post for the long-term substitute mechanic to cover a leave of absence. That's what we talked about when we were at the bus garage about having a long-term sub position available. Permission to post for staff and student support personnel. Permission to post for lead special education. Both of those are monies that we have through grants and funds that we have to liquidate. We have to move the funds going out or lose them. Mr. Henderson, leave of absence, and then another leave of absence extended, and then Mrs. Voigt, employ her as a substitute guidance counselor. Hopefully she's going to fill in for Mr. Henderson while he's out. And permission to post for a coordinator for fresh fruits and vegetable grants. And again, that's a grant that we need to move on, liquidate the funds there. And then we have a couple of volunteers.
Do we have any discussion or a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Okay, I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Okay. Under non-consent agenda item A, I just recommend the board members approve and sign the resolution urging the state of West Virginia to stabilize the public employee insurance agent, the PEIA, and I think most of the boards around the state, we are just with the snow and ground, we're a little behind on ours finally getting to the agenda.
Now, with that, with our signing, you know, supporting this resolution, I know that it's just social media, but can that be publicized on the county web, on the county Facebook page and the website, just to show?
That we did do it, yes.
Yeah. Mr.
I
Brazil.
appreciate that.
That would be great.
I know a lot of people rely on Facebook for their news,
Okay.
so, all right,
It's real news on there.
yeah. So, do I have a motion to, for that?
I make a motion that we approve the signing of the resolution to stabilize PEIA.
And I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion
B,
passed.
I would just recommend the board members approve the revisions to updates to policy 2050, the copyright protected materials, and policy 2170, homework policy. And I didn't make any additions or corrections to those.
Okay.
It's just you're removing the review schedule? Or-
Should not no, we'll
That shouldn't have
continue
been
to, no, that's no revision,
This-
no changes.
Review schedule. Remember you and I talked about that? You want to leave it?
Yes, leave them
Leave
on
it on?
there. Yeah,
So we're gonna strike that and leave it as
we'll leave it
written.
as it is.
So we're
Okay.
striking the strike?
Yeah, we're starting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, then I don't
want
need an
policies to
amendment.
review periodically.
I'll need an amendment then on that.
Yeah. I make a motion that we approve the revisions with the addition of striking,
Not striking,
or not striking,
the last paragraph.
the last
sentence.
paragraph of what policy was it, Shirley?
It's both policies.
Of both
Review-
policies.
Review schedule at the bottom.
Okay.
2170.
Well, I didn't know if it was on both policies.
It is.
I couldn't.
Okay, I have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay? We're
Who
probably
did
moving-
who was first? Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Some updates. Mrs. Billmeyer and myself, we were scheduled to attend the state board meeting
This is nice.
last week, but it got snowed out. There is one of the agenda items on the state board was the recommendation to remove Hampshire County schools from the special ed state of emergency. So that was on their agenda as a recommendation. We'll go back next month and reappear because they canceled that monthly meeting and rescheduled it for the next month. So hopefully that will be good news. The big news is, I shared earlier, that we did receive a check in the amount of $150,000 from past Governor Justice for playground equipment for our 3 new schools.
Yay.
Much thanks to the governor, so that should help be and should be a lot of seed money to get those playground equipments purchased.
As well as the vet science building.
And
Yes.
prior to that, we did receive another $50,000 for the animal vet to do a surgical center to spade and neuter animals. So in total, a contribution.
Will that be divided 3 ways?
Yes.
Evenly? Okay, the original one, not the.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. The greenhouse, I know we've talked about that. Mrs. Stump and I did reach out to the gentleman that Ed had given me his name, and he has retired. So we got to the company, got to a new person, and she was supposed to have gotten back with me to send out a rep, exterior rep. I guess there's interior and then there are exterior reps. So once that rep gives me a call back, we'll meet and with Mrs. Landis, myself, Mrs. Stump, and probably give Mr. Morgan a call to sit down and go through what the information on that greenhouse, what can you save, what can't, prices and so forth. We're still working on cleaning up some of the new school issues. Steve gave me a call. The doors are finally, for the 3rd time I think, are coming for the high school. And at the Ice Mountain, they need to put up the acoustical panels. They sent clips, but they sent individual clips instead of the rail where he can put, a 12-foot spans at one time. So he said all that's supposed to come. It's slated to be delivered Wednesday, and then they're going to operate 3 crews on Saturday to try to knock out most of this work.
Talking about acoustical panels, is Cape and Bridge done?
Yes, they are done. They had some left over, but I think we're going to go ahead and have them come back and reinstall everything else they've got left. Go ahead and put them all up.
Okay.
And I think it was something like 80 panels, but they made one complete loop around the.
Have you been in yet, or?
I have not.
I might stop in tomorrow and just see how it is.
That's from that list. That's about all I have that I can think of. I know there was, when I spoke to Mrs. Jeffries today, there was some clarification about the county commissioner meeting about this building. I did follow up with John Todd, and it is clearly, he reiterated, even though this property will be, in exchange, goes to the Hampshire County Development Authority, they have already, their committee, their board, their directors have already voted and approved not to demolish this particular building, the old school board here, and that it will be turned over to the Hampshire County Sheriff's Department and day court, or day report. So to clear up any clarification, and then in your packets, Denise did make a copy of you. They talked about the new Mr. Mance wanted to propose to funding the Bobcat and the Hampshire High School after school. So Representative wanted some information, so Denise ran, this is the 5-year financial report, what it costs each one of those entities per year. The Hampshire High School activity run is paid for by the Trojan Athletic Association, and the Bobcat run is paid by Capron Bridge Middle School. So I think Mr. Morgan was going to reach out and have Mr. Stewart and Mrs. McCartney
coming tomorrow.
go to the commissioners' meetings to discuss the advantages and what all those two runs provide to our students. I did speak to Jesse, the contractor, about the gym in Windy Ridge. I can look up, he said it was the cold air return. I told him I could see an opening up through the cracks. So he thinks it may be with the wind. The wind never blows at Windy Ridge. But he thinks the wind may have jarred and opened, caused the door to come unlatched, and it's open. But he said as soon as he feels that it's safe to get on the roof, he will go up and check it out and secure it. Maybe it's blowing off or something. But
Just so we know, if something like that happens, do we have a certain period of time?
1 year.
1 year that we can tell them, come back and
Yeah,
fix?
1 year.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
1
what I
year,
wanted to know.
1 year, everything is warranted for 1 year.
Okay, good.
So in another particular instance, Mr. Stewart called me Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock and said the girls' locker room didn't have lights. So he had been through most of the breaker box. I went up, went through all the breaker box, called Steve. He called the electricians, told me where, and I checked every breaker box, high and low, that I knew. And finally, he called back and said the electrician thinks when you go in, there's an electronic eye or sensor. He thinks maybe the sensor had went bad, and he called me this morning and said the electrician would be there early. So when I came through this afternoon, I saw one of the S&S Electric coming out of the high school. So hopefully they've got it fixed.
Okay, good.
But yes, that's part of, they don't want anything to be damaged, that they're going to have to invest additional funds to repair.
What about South Branch House? That one.
South
Yeah.
Branch.
Yes.
The only two things we're waiting on is that FRB board, and it was supposed to be here the middle of January. So, as soon as they get that up, they can put the sinks on, and we're waiting on signage. So those are the two things. The next move for the maintenance guys is to start moving. As soon as they say, yes, the punch list, we're good to go, we'll start moving the furniture from Springfield, Green Spring into the gym, so that Denise and I can set assembly dates to start putting that. And some of the desk and so forth is already there. We were able to work with the rescue squad and secure some of those items, furniture items, in their garage.
I don't know, would this be any better of an undertaking? Instead of the guys moving the stuff from the old Springfield school to South Branch, what if we're gonna have the assembly day at Springfield, load it up, and have another crew there to help them unload?
I was thinking that too, but I wonder how
How's
hard
it
it would
easier to move?
transport
I think
already
it's-
assembled.
Yeah, I think it's easier with it all boxed and packed and still in
Okay.
the saran wrap. It's
Yeah.
easier just to carry it in bulk, cut it, and have the
It'd be
assembly
much
lines like we.
larger if
And I think we've gotten pretty good. You guys have been part
Yeah.
of the assembly lines now, that we've got we
crew.
can set up a line and keep things moving,
Yeah.
and another crew just picks it up and takes it back.
Distribute.
Yeah, and the central office, as you can see, has started the transition to the Augusta school.
My backyard.
But finance, Denise.
Your backyard.
Denise and Tammy have moved. I think next will be probably Rhonda, but she's off with her foot where she fell and broke her leg. Miss Emily Emery has already moved, Tish has moved, Mrs. Lips has pretty much moved, I have semi-moved
Your office is pretty bleak.
here. So, you know, the other thing is Randy, we've been using Randy and over the holidays, Randy and Wesley Landis did some cleaning and painting. So Randy's been there till he starts Wednesday. So tomorrow's his last day painting. So he's done a good bit of the painting in the classrooms, offices. So we're slowly transitioning. So the priority is, you know, was to get Ice Mountain moved. Next is to get the furniture from Springfield, Green Spring to there, and then the maintenance crew can start focusing on moving the rest of the staff, you know, the bigger stuff. I mean, it's going to be a slow process because we're down to the big furniture, and the bulk of the stuff is the filing cabinets. For
Yes.
example, Mrs. Slocum alone has 30 plus file cabinets, and Denise has, you know, probably that ample amount. They just have to keep everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're slowly making the transition, and, you know, Denise comes in an hour or two, and Candy comes and brings back and forth. So we're operating out of basically 2 buildings.
Okay, so like by February, we're gonna be meeting
Well, no.
possibly?
See,
Okay, I'm just,
we're moving, once they move,
Okay.
then the third piece, no, let me back up. Ice Mountain, South Branch Furniture, and then the third move, we'll start moving the excess school furniture from the old Augusta to the old Slanesville School.
Oh, okay.
And when they made the transition to Ice Mountain, they went ahead and designated a room for chairs, a room for desks. So we'll start taking
okay,
chairs, moving, you know, so that we can
Gotcha.
maybe start declaring it surplus and start selling a
you
lot of
actually
that.
know what you have.
And then right behind that, then, you know, when we move, we've got to move from Springfield, Green Spring, and from Romney Elementary, all that has to go
Yeah,
to a site or be surplus. So there's 2 great big rooms full of the furniture out there.
okay. All right.
Sounds like
And
it's
the
a,
weather, you know, weather didn't help any.
No.
But it did identify some problems, so maybe that was a good thing.
Well, and you know, it's like everything else, a new home or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to, we're gonna have problems. I mean, it's finding them, but, you know, and I appreciate the contractors. They've been, as soon as I've made a phone call, they either come the next, you know, Jesse came the next day. Steve is they're working in Martinsburg, so typically they stop, you know, like today, I called him about something. He said he'd stop on his way through this evening coming home instead of going up to Winchester, going to Court Rage to home to Moorfield. He comes this way and goes home. So they've been good.
I do have to say, on, you know, amongst this snow that we've had, just a couple of schools and buildings and stuff. I know that the guys, Kent and Zach, have done a phenomenal job. At least the schools that I've seen, the schools look great. And for not having snow or
Kent did the 2 Capon Ridge and the
bus garage.
No, and the Augusta and Windy Ridge sites.
Okay.
Brandon Ford does Ice Mountain, and then our maintenance guys do Hampshire High School, Middle School, but the central office and Romney Elementary.
He done a good job out.
Did.
Yeah, he done a good job. He even went around the old school, I mean, he did.
Cleaned it all up.
Yeah, and it was tough.
He done
I
a
mean,
good job.
they fought the drifts for
Oh,
2
my.
days.
Yeah,
The drifts were horrible.
well, and where that school is, it's going to drift.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's coming out of my fields and going
Bus
right into
drop
that.
off,
right into that
parent
school
drop
lot.
off and all that, everything.
Working at Windy Ridge? Are they
Windy Ridge
off
is-
the road?
Doing well. I haven't talked to JW, we have Pennsylvania, to see it. I know they practiced for Ice Mountain on Friday, so I don't know how it went You know, I'm anxious to speak to both JW and Mrs. Wolford to see how it went this morning and this afternoon. I didn't hear a lot of chatter on the radio, so hopefully it's working well too. You know, everything, there's gonna be bugs and tweaks that they've gotta
Right.
Oh, yeah.
work out, and
We have, just one thing, I'm speaking for myself, unless we feel like we need to do it as a group or as a board, that would have to be put on an agenda, you know, in the future, I would imagine. But, we're kinda, you know, when we see certain things come up, we've had a couple things come up in recent months, where we've given a property over to somebody, and then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, can we go and get some more money out of them to cover a new roof or a new this or a new that? And right now, you know, when you're, you generally make examples out of your own children, and we'll just take you on as our child, okay? But from this point on, we need, I mean, it's probably already been said, but we need to make it clear to the public and to any other, you know, body that needs to hear it, is when we give over a property to somebody, it's as is, how
and we
is,
relinquish all
where is.
Responsibility.
And
moral
we-
responsibility and repairs.
You can't come back, Karina, you can't come back later and tell us you want it painted pink, okay?
I'll keep that in mind.
And we make, and, you know, too, we make no bones that we're going to remove from any of those buildings what will save us
Yeah, money for
money
school.
in the future.
Right, I
mean,
understand.
You know, I'm looking at
Somebody's not
the
getting the
need,
memo,
the
though.
need in the new central office to replace some doors. Of course, I know we have a set of interior doors. Here, we have a set of doors at Lanesville, and there's 2 sets of interior doors, and there's a set of brass exterior doors right here that will work, and to transition those to replace some of the doors at the central office and put the swipe covers on.
Well, that would make sense.
You know, and
Because we've got a couple more things possibly
Yeah.
coming up,
yeah.
and so
we've
we
got-
need to make it clear.
And doors, you know, locks and stuff, so Denise did say
I
when
agree.
they moved from
Yes.
the old board office to here, basically they took the doorknobs out and brought them with them so that they were already keyed to the key, because at the elementary school, it takes 3 different keys, and if I'm, depending on which section it is, if I have a key, I have access to every door on that part of the building, and, you know, I don't want, you know, Shirley doesn't want people in her office, I have confidential stuff, Pam certainly doesn't want anybody to be able to get into her personnel, so we'll have
If I'm
to,
not mistaken, that's part of the reason the holdup with Miss Slocum moving is that she has to have
she has to
a
have,
singular own lock.
well, she has to have her files, you know, they
Yeah, her
can't be.
files, but they have to be
you know,
under her
one
lock.
thing is, they gotta have their files to
Yeah.
be able to. So there's a lot going on, you know, we're making progress. Some days it feels like we are, and some days it feels like we're taking a step forward and 2 backwards, but we're moving.
I just have one question, and have we done the, tinting of the windows yet?
Yes.
We need to have them to come back.
What you probably, what you're seeing is, or being reported, there's bubbles. And the gentleman that put them in said because of the colder temperature, it takes a while for those bubbles, it's just water, for them to dissipate. He said usually in a warmer climate, 2 or 3, no more than 2 weeks, they're going. But he said here, he told Denise not, don't even call for at least 60 days, and it may take longer. Now, when he did the South Branch, he put some rubbing alcohol in the solution, hoping that would speed up the process or dissipate. I periodically watch, I know there's still some bubbles at Windy Ridge, but they have gotten a lot better than what they originally were.
Slainsville's really bad.
So
If you look
yes.
at them.
Yeah, I
I
see it.
stopped there the day I seen you,
Yeah,
next week.
and I've tried to tell staff, he said, don't rub them.
Yeah,
Right.
they-
I put just small ones in my house, and it's the same thing, it took a while for them, if you don't touch them.
Yeah, for it to dissipate, for the you know, and I guess we just need
I
enough
was just
heat.
I just asked
Yeah.
the question.
Oh, I know what else. We are to the high school. I know Ice Mountain, for one, didn't have a lot of bookcases, and some of their furniture was in disarray. So I have any staff member out there that needed bookshelving, I've met with every staff member, took measurements, and the high school Mr. Keckley's is building bookshelves for us.
Good.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
For them.
Good, good.
It's good for them.
So his advanced carpentry, so matter of fact, he called me and they were starting today, so.
They were one class that was very disappointed because they had made a birdhouse for the governor.
Yeah.
And we had the younger kids too, were they were heartbroken because they prepared for that visit that never happened.
Several times.
So you're more than welcome, if you drop through, stop at the old Augusta Elementary School and see
What the setup's gonna be.
what the setup.
Okay.
And we're
I
not.
welcome you to visit my office, I mean,
We're not gonna get, I guess, the, flagpole and the, big memorial done, I guess, in spring. I mean, I'm saying that lightly.
that has
I
evolved.
know we've talked,
Yeah,
but,
that has evolved from
I mean, we ain't got no flagpole out there.
small, few $1,000 project to 10,000 to 20,000. And currently, just the pad alone with what they want, it is up around 30,000, and that's not counting the need for an exterior retaining wall. And working with the new concrete company, he wants everything tore out that they've already done, insert pillars down in for that granite to set on, and in a separate footer to be poured for the retaining wall to set on,
So now we're talking, who knows?
we're talking probably, we're up another 20,000 probably.
And who's footing this bill?
The presidential committee is paying for the pad.
How much have we got invested? Or,
We
I
don't
mean, how
have-
much,
we
how
don't
much
have-
are we gonna have?
We don't have anything
No.
invested in
Oh,
it.
so we're not gonna have nothing invested? Oh, that's good. I mean, that's.
But we may
good.
not get it if it keeps on.
Well, I mean,
The only thing
that
we-
doesn't matter to me.
I have exhausted and I
I
spoke
know.
to Mrs. McKee today, so she was seeking funding from another source.
I just don't feel that we should have to pay,
No.
foot that bill for that. I mean,
No,
that's
no,
just.
the only thing that we
That's
may need to
crazy.
do, if it depends, if it doesn't come to reality, we will have to pay some concrete in there for a pad so the kids can walk in to the flagpole.
Put the flagpole.
Or relocate the flagpole, whichever is cheapest. And,
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
But I mean,
no,
if they're
we
going-
don't have anything, and we've worked on that memorial probably for a good year and a half now, so it just, it consumes a lot of time.
oh, I know, I'm just
So, yes, so hopefully,
saying that I don't think that we should,
No,
as the
no,
board or as the
no.
Board of
I-
Education should have to foot
No,
that
I
bill.
have-
I mean, that's crazy.
sure been very much upfront that we're not
Yeah, that's
providing that our school funds, the SBA and the bond fund, that's not what that was for. So you're absolutely right, Mr. Reese. So that's,
You know, if we're gonna do anything, yeah, just pour a concrete slab out there and put our flagpole in the middle of it. That's all we
well,
need.
the holes are
You know,
dug.
well, that's what I'm saying, you know,
We just move it back and,
worst comes to worst, that's all we, should have to do, instead of spending
It's not-
50, 60,000.
It's
Well,
a nice
I
thing,
know
but it's
something.
not
If we're gonna spend
necessary.
money,
If they're gonna keep dragging
It's
their
not
feet,
gonna
it's
be
not
that.
necessary.
It'd be on playground equipment.
Yeah, it's not gonna be in that.
If it's my choice.
But the fence looks nice. I've seen the fence up around the pond, it looks nice. I've seen the fence around, for the pre-K back there, and, we was down here, I guess we got new fence down here at the,
we've got some
some down here
new
at the
fence,
school.
that was already
Or was that already up there?
That was already in the bid.
Oh, okay.
That we couldn't get removed, so they have already put that piece in, then the rest of it ties in on the back that goes, onto the corner, and then there's a piece comes up front and a piece on the other side, and a pre-K, and
I just seen the black.
yeah, so there's more to go, and then there's fence that goes to Windy Ridge. Right now, the only thing we're sort of dragging is, because of the weather, getting the First Fruits who did the excavating to finish up some of that's on their punch list.
Some of the
If
erosion.
we put the fence up, then they can't work around and get their grading and what they need to do. That ditch at Windy Ridge, for example, needs to be graded so it flows and it's not flowing. So if we put the fence up, then
It makes that.
they can't get the work finished.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's up, and I haven't been down to see the guys. We're supposed to start on the River Rock in the areas around the school and in the curb up along the parking lot to finish it up too. But they, if they had the FRB board and the signage, they laid their first block January 4th at South Branch. They would have been
done in a
They
year.
would have been, they're well within meeting 12 months, 1 year, finishing the largest school in 12 months. So they made a lot of progress.
And I know we talked about this, you've talked about this before, I guess, First Fruits, whoever that guy is.
It's on the punch list.
He has to take care of that outside.
It's on the punch list.
Okay.
I walked, you'll see on my report,
Yeah,
I walked in.
But he ain't gonna be able to do nothing down the spring.
Yeah, with the civil
With the way
engineer,
it-
civil engineer to both schools, we walked the whole exterior.
But that was
with the
in his
punch-
contract.
That's it, that's in the punch list,
That's
that's on the
in
punch
his-
list.
You talk about that's in the backside.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is the blacktop that they cut out
Some of the debris.
to put the curb in, and the silt fence or the, whatever it is, the silt rolls.
Yeah.
And, like at Windy Ridge, it still has the silt fence up, and the civil engineer said it can't come down till they are absolutely assured we're at 70% vegetation.
Yeah.
So, he said basically, you throw a hoop down, and if it's not 70%
Vegetation. and they call
growth
it.
there, grass, then it doesn't meet. So he said probably like at Windy Ridge, that whole back area that we're gonna use for playground will probably have to be reseeded in the spring.
It's got pretty late.
Yeah, well, it necessarily didn't get late, it got late, but then we hit that drought spell and we didn't get any rain.
I just was clarifying that was part of their deal, on the punch list, that they have to come back and do that we're not gonna have the expense of
Of trying to clean that
get
up.
somebody to clean that up back there and make it presentable. I mean, we put a lot of money into these schools.
Yeah.
We, as a taxpayer, and I'm sure as you all as taxpayers in the county, you want it done right. You want to look presentable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, it looks very nice. All the schools that I've seen so far, they look very good as far as what have done, but, some of this little stuff, sometimes people tend to, we ain't gonna do that, or whatever. But I've been down that road.
Surprisingly, so far, the contractors have been good about it.
No,
I keep a running list, I assure you, I keep a running list.
Mr. Morgan,
Mhm.
on our board goals, I was just looking down here, at what point in time do we want to start under point 2E, where it says the Hampshire County Board of Education will recognize staff at each school for their achievement on the MOY and EOY benchmark assessment data during one of their monthly meetings? Are we talking, if we forget about this, we'll be looking at it again next year and saying, oh, we never did that. At what point in time do we want to initiate that?
I will put it on agenda as soon as they do
We get the results.
in the middle of the year.
Okay.
You want the end of the year or middle of the year? What's your goal say?
Doesn't
It
specify.
doesn't specify.
Well, I just wanted to draw our attention to
Okay,
it
all
because
right.
we have a tendency,
Okay.
everybody
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Was
And
it
we had to
E you're
extend
talking
the
about?
window.
E or F?
It is E.
Oh,
E,
Yes, I'm
okay.
sorry.
It actually does specify, Ms. Monson, middle of the year and end
Okay,
of the year.
all right. Mrs. Lips, I'll mark that and put a note on there, Mrs. Lips, as soon as they finish the benchmark testing and we can compile the data, we'll get that on a board agenda.
Yeah, I just wanted, we're looking at it and it's like, I don't want to forget about it. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about also, seeing that day that we were all so giddy when we collected money at at the homecoming,
Yeah.
about seeing if we were gonna do that sometime, some way, in some function in the second semester.
Yes.
So we don't wanna forget about that either.
Yeah. I
And
think
it-
we all ought to just dress up and be chaperones at the prom.
Yeah, right.
Just saying. Okay, it's a tough crowd.
I have no problem with that.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
There you go, yeah.
What goes wrong?
Dress up and attend that.
I
Georgia
Georgia is
and Knox.
chaperone.
Think you can find
Miss
your
Lisa,
date?
he's gotta have
Oh, yeah,
tails,
I'd find a date.
tails and a top hat.
Yeah. I don't know about all the dressed up.
You suck it up, Buttercup.
Okay, our
I might
fearless
come in a
leader,
bit
what are you
in
gonna
my-
dress
in my
up
hat.
in?
I mean, that'd be nice, fancy, I might dress up, but, yeah, I could be a chaperone. Oh, what I did real good.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a vote on that, can we do
No,
that?
we just have to talk about it. And do we have any other unfinished business or other pressing needs before our next meeting, which will be next Monday at Cape Bridge Elementary?
Tuesday.
Next month.
Tuesday, yes,
Yes.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday.
Yeah. Hearing none, I hereby adjourn at 7:29.